few people try to change people. We meet each other and we love who each other is right when we meet. And we like the way they dress. We like they smell, they cologne, they perfume, the way they talk. We love all that, right? It's exciting to us in the beginning. Once we get with the person, then we spend the entire time with them trying to change them into something else. Trying to change them into something we think they should be. What a dumbass mistake. Let's say you walk into McDonald's, right? And you ask for a number one, a Big Mac, right? You don't customize the order. You say, give it to me as is. Once they give you your food, you sit down and spend the rest of your time there trying to change that Big Mac into spaghetti. I feel like that's the exact same thing we do in our relationships. We accept people for who they are in the beginning and then spend the rest of the time with them trying to change them into something that they were never intended to be. Sound familiar? I'm talking to somebody in the congregation.
All right. Welcome to Grown Men Talking Incorporated. We are here now to talk about it. Please. We are here to talk about a subject that some do not touch. We are going to be discussing remolding a mate. When a person tries to change who you are in a relationship. Also, make sure you tune in tomorrow as we talk about submitting unto. What does it really mean to submit unto your mate? Tune in and make sure that you have your notifications on. Also, next Friday, make sure you tune in because our motivational speaker, Mr. Desmond Jones, will be speaking on a topic called the emotional investment. What is that involving? You got to tune in and make sure you find out. Listen in. So now we're going to hand it over to Mr. Dwight.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? And welcome to Grown Men Talking. I'm your host, Dwight, and it's a Friday. Some of y'all got paid, some of y'all didn't. But hey, it's Friday. It's the weekend. So we're going to talk about, just like, we saw in the video, when you get with somebody, they try to change you. And everywhere they try to change you, no matter if you dress, eat, however. But we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to bring my boy in, Mr. Days. Come on in, Mr. Days. We can talk about this.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Days. How you doing, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right under the circumstances, in spite of it all. But hey, I'm here.
All right. And we're going to have Miss Keisha from Women of Vibes joining us tonight. So, Keisha, in the house, come on in. There she is. She got that Twilight Zone going on, the peace sign. And yeah, okay, I see. All right, so we here. We're going to talk about this. And I guess I'll start it off now. I think when I was in a relationship many moons ago, it was a woman that did try to change me. See, I was a good, wholesome church man, just chilling, trying to do the right thing. And she, how can I say this without sounding too bad? Otherwise, when you have a sexual relationship, she, it started off like normal, but this woman was like a crackhead. She nearly every minute of the day, just constantly. And I think she was trying to turn me into a porno star or something. I'm being for real. The way she was coming, the way she was just trying to get mad and trying to get me to do certain things. I said, this wasn't her like when we first met. And all of a sudden, she turned to a wild beast. But that's just one example. But she was just trying to remake me into her image of doing things. But Dez, I'm gonna hit you up and see if you have been in certain situations where you was in relationships. Maybe you try to change somebody, or they try to change you.
Well, I wouldn't say change. People have tried that. They have identified character flaws,
Okay.
and you know, and I have no problem with if you come in, if you try to change me or change something about me, if it's something for the better of me, that's not an issue, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to grow together.
True.
But just to just come flat out and try to make me be something that I don't feel I am or could be. Now
Mm-hmm.
that may be an issue, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with change as long as it's the change for the better. And as
True.
long as you're willing to as long as you're making the changes for yourself and not for someone else.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
You know.
I mean, it's a crazy kind of. I mean, it's a topic that I guess a lot of us can touch base on because we all been in a certain relationship where people, when you meet those people, and all of a sudden they flip flop. They just flip flop for some reason. They're trying to, just like the young man said in the video. It's crazy. Keisha,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what you got to say about this? Have you ever been in a relationship or you're married and your boyfriend or husband trying to flip flop you? Everything was cool, and then I got deeper into whatever, and all of a sudden he's trying to change you, or he's trying to do something, or he's just trying to, I don't know, do something, flip you. What you got to say about that?
I wouldn't say necessarily change me, but just so much trying to control who my friends are. And, as long as you got me, you don't need A, B, C, and D. Um,
Like,
when we get into a relationship, we cannot change anybody. You
well,
can't
okay,
stay by
you're right.
yourself.
When you say friends, was he trying to get you to, I don't know, give up your friends, or how would I
To
mean?
give up my friends, and more so my male friends.
Okay,
Um, and because I guess I don't know if I was just young, dumb, and naive or whatever, but I really believe I thought that's what you were supposed to do. When you get with said person, then everybody else just becomes a thing of the past. And as I've grown in maturity, that statement is the most incorrect statement there is, because friends are friends regardless of who you with, as long as that friend doesn't pose a threat in the current relationship, because friends are
right.
so hard to come by, especially good ones. So yeah, I got to change a clause now.
Okay, now, oh, did you give up your friends, or did you? I mean,
I
did you?
did.
So you gave all the friends up for him because he wanted you to do that.
I did, because at the time I thought that was the right thing. This is my man and this is how it's supposed to be. Like I said, young, dumb, and naive. I don't think I knew any better. So yes, I did. I gave up female friends. I gave up male friends. And the sad part, when this person left me, guess who I had?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Because you can't go back and pick people up after you didn't kick them to the curb because said person said that they weren't good for you. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never ever in any relationship do that again.
Lesson learned. Dave, did you have something similar to that? Were you in a relationship that maybe you wanted her to do what Keisha man wanted her to do, or vice versa?
Well, I mean, I wasn't. I had been in one relationship where, somebody wanted me to give up all of my friends, don't be with this person, But I mean, I really don't have a lot of male friends. I could count my male friends on one hand. you know, I have more female associates and friends than I do male friends and
That's me.
associates, But I would think though, the problem that occurs sometimes is when you try to change a person into what you think they should be, or
Yeah.
what you feel is good for you, what's best for you.
Right.
And a lot of times that could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing, if you're
Yeah.
if you're trying to make a person like literally just change totally who they are, or even the things that they do, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like I said, I've never been in a situation or a relationship with anyone who has wanted me to change something that was not beneficial to me.
Right.
So I can't, I can't speak negative. I really can't speak negatively about the change in aspect, because I do believe, honestly, none of us are perfect.
Right.
And there are some things that we could change about ourselves. And I know, just me as a human being / alien, I have several character flaws. And some of them I can, and some of them I can't see. But
Right.
and so I can't fault a person for seeing that flaw and being able to address that to me, how that is detrimental to them.
Right.
Which would, that would mean that it would just be up to me to see how I can change that particular character flaw to make that person more comfortable being with. Even if
Mm-hmm.
even if I don't feel that it's something negative, I should be able to sit down, analyze it, and listen to where that person is coming from and say, okay, I can see how this is affecting them in a negative way,
Right.
and be able to make moves and change that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Now, I had both of y'all. I don't know how, because then I'm like you. I mean, I was in a relationship. I ain't had too many of that. I want you to dress a certain way. I want you to whatever. But I'm not gonna mention the friend's name. Uh, she was a female friend of mine. She started dating this dude, and they was like the perfect couple. They were just, I mean, when they started getting deep into relationship where they make it like official, they gonna date and be serious. Uh, she came to me being upset, saying that it kind of we was going. It started like we started going to out to eat, or he started taking her out to eat a lot, especially the all you can eat buffets. And they called me, said, "Dwight, you want to go out with us to eat?" And, I mean, I remember we had to eat a lot. I said, "Damn, I mean, we really going out to eat a lot." I mean, most of the time, you get us something to eat, you go home and chill. But ever since she started dating this dude, it was like, "Hey, let's go out and eat." Now, nobody thought about it at first. It was just kind of, friends call you up, they want to go out and eat. She finally came to the house and talked to me because they got into a fight. And I want y'all to know if this sounds right. He was trying to get her to gain more weight. He wanted her to be a certain weight because she was like maybe I say about 135. He had no problem with it. But as soon as they started dating seriously, he finally, she asked him, and he said, "I want you to get at least to 200 pounds." And she said, "What?" And they got to an argument about it. And she said, I'm not trying to do that." And she asked me, "Well, should I stay with him? Because I really like him, but I don't want to be no 200 something pounds." It's like he's trying to change my body weight. And he's upset, because she refused to go out to all you eat buffets, and he's a cook, and he was cooking all these food with calories and stuff. And she said that she didn't want to do it. She did end up gaining, maybe, I think, staying with him because she really did enjoy staying with him. She really loved this man. She went from 135 to 165. With that came high blood pressure. She didn't feel like she got depressed. And thank God that her mom and the rest of her family member kind of talk her out to stand with this guy, because he wanted her to be voluptuous or whatever. He didn't. He finally came out and said, he liked her personality, but he was trying to change her or make her like this other woman he was dating that was like 230 or something like that. If I'm whatever, but
Well, it sounded like he was trying to put weight on her so she wouldn't run from him.
That's what I was thinking. But he finally came in and he said that he wanted her to be bigger. He said, and I asked, well, okay, if she wasn't that type of woman that you, he didn't say he attracted to. He said, no, I was attracted to her spirit, but I envisioned that she should be bigger breasts, bigger thighs, bigger calves, and for her to get that, I need her to eat more. I need her to do that for me. I'm just saying, how do y'all, I'll start with you, Keisha. How you feel about that? Keisha, how would you feel if you start dating a dude and y'all cool and everything, and all of a sudden he's taking you to all you can eat buffets and blah, 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 and then, it just seems all normal because you keep going on eating, he keeps feeding you all this kind of fatty food, and finally cut through the red tape. He said, well, look, I need you to get bigger because I just want you to get bigger. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I would have a problem with that because one, maybe I've struggled with my weight and I'm finally at a acceptable weight, and for you to want me to be bigger, I mean, but it goes the same because some men get big women and want them to be little. Pick what you want from the beginning. If you want a big thickums, then you need to already be in the big thickum aisle.
Well, yeah, but see, Keith, when I talked to him, he's okay, and I agree. But he said he loved her energy because the way they talk, which is true because they had a great bond. They connected on everything when it came to laughing and talking serious conversation and just being silly. But he said that he wanted her to gain more weight.
But if he loved all of those things about her, if she brought him that comfort, that peace, they had the fire, I think it was something wrong with him, because if you found all of those good qualities in one person, that's the person that you need to stay with. Like, he was wrong for trying to change her, because you try to change me like that and make me all big and fluffy, and then all of a sudden you don't want me. Now I'm in my big girl status, and now I'm just stuck being, because it's hard for some women to lose weight. So now I'm in my big girl state and you done ran off and left me. Now I'm sad and miserable. So he either would have to accept me for who I am. You know, I would talk to him about it, and he would either have to accept me, or then he could, you know, go to the bigums aisle.
Well, yeah. No, I agree with you. Des, you know, what's your take on that? I mean, at least at the end, he came out and told it. I mean,
I've never been with a woman and wanted to put pounds on her. Like, literally every relationship I've ever been in, they've all been trying to lose weight.
Okay.
You know, so I would never purposely try to fatten up someone because to me that doesn't seem right. Because I mean, like Miss Keisha said, when you met this person, they was at a nice, decent weight. Yeah. Nice, decent weight. Yeah. Probably about the average weight that they were supposed to be for their size, their age, and you know, and their height. But now you want to come in and try to put all this extra weight on somebody. You don't know what type of health issues you may be giving that person when you give them that extra weight. Because if you go from 130 pounds to even, you said she got up to 165. Yep. You go to 165, 185, you're starting to put more strain on your back. You're putting more strain on your knees, your ankles, your feet. You're really causing more harm to your body than you are good. So, you know, my whole take on that is, like, if that's what you want, like Miss Keisha said, if that's what you want somebody that's thick, don't be in a petite aisle shopping. Because it's almost like you're looking for a fixer up. Oh, I can mold her into the woman I want her to be. No, go stay in your lane, stay in your weight class,
Man, see, that blew my mind, because Keisha and Dave, that's the same with me. Because most guys, you know, it just threw me, because I'm like, I ain't never heard of a man that's trying to make his woman bigger. I mean, that's wrong being a plus size woman, but she was like 5'2", 130 pounds, and he would just spoon feed. I mean, just feeding her, wanting her to get to this size in his head that remind him of an ex. But I hear some music playing, y'all. So we're gonna be back in the few. If y'all have experienced anything, been in a relationship, and been around people, give us a call. We would like to hear. So stay with us. We'll be back in 2 and 2, or maybe 1. But stay tuned. We'll be back.
Understand that when romantic partners nitpick at all these minute aspects of your identity, like how you wear your hair, your makeup, how you dress, where you go, who you talk to, the root of this is insecurity. They can very well go out and get what it is they want, but some of them feel like they either don't deserve it or they're not good enough to acquire it. So instead, they're with you and they'll spend so much time trying to mold you into that. For example, a man that knows he's into slim girls but will date a BBW and then spend so much time and energy trying to get her to lose weight. If she wants to, that will be a great experience for her. But if she doesn't, why are you pressuring her? Why not just go find the slim girl of your dreams? Is it that the slim as them don't want you? Some have endured so much trauma that they haven't healed from that they resort to control as medicine. It doesn't work though, but they'll get a kick out of how much they can change somebody else and brag to their friends, oh, she'll do this for me, she'll do that for me, she'll do anything for me. There's no respect there, but there's an ego boost and a high they get from being able to manipulate you into what they want you to be. And I see this one in women and men. Some people's self-esteem is so low that they use their partner as like a savior from all their worries and woes in life. And if my partner was just exactly as I need them to be, I would be happy. So they nitpick at you because they want every aspect of you to fulfill them instead of just loving you wholeheartedly and understanding that who you are as an individual is a blessing to them, even aspects that they don't necessarily like. That's real love. That's a true connection when you accept each other, flaws and all, quirkiness and all, weird interests at all, where every aspect of them doesn't have to be pleasing to you. You accept them for who they are. You love all of them, even the parts you don't like.
Once All right. I want to thank everyone over there at both pages of Facebook and also YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, Instagram, and Rumble for tuning in live. I see ya. Make sure you tune in tomorrow as the Unspoken Heart present to you the meaning behind submit unto. Join in. I'm telling you, this is going to be something spicy. Also, make sure you tune in next Friday as Mr. Desmond himself will be hosting the show on the topic of the emotional investment. Now back over to you, Dwight.
Yeah. Look at that. I can't say more about that video because we were talking about the opposite of that. The opposite. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But like I said, I haven't been in too many relations like that with somebody trying to change. I can go and buy the experience of friends and families I've been with. I had a friend named Stephanie. Back in the day, I was like a church kid. I mean, I love going to church, especially on Sunday. I had a friend that was trying to got with a dude. They met at the store, and I guess they started having a relationship. The thing is, if you meet somebody, they're not a church person, why would you try to change them to get them to go to church knowing that they're not too much in religion? Is that they're too much in religion? Now, Des, I'm going to ask you, have you been with somebody or know anybody that might have you been with a lady that was really into church, maybe trying to pull you into church or anything or something close to that that she was just trying to change. Well, you know, y'all was into if it's something that you're not too much into, she knew it, but now she's trying to get you into it now since y'all got together, and you kind of felt uncomfortable by it.
I wouldn't say pull me into, because I was raised in the church myself. I grew up in the church, literally grew up in the church. It's just as I got older and I, started learning things, I started to distance myself, but no one has ever tried to force that upon me because of, the things that I have learned over the years, and I will never stop anybody. Even if I was in a relationship with somebody that was into church, hey, do what you have to do for your mental sanity. I just know what I have to do. And I'm not the type of person to try to force my beliefs or, things that I've read and things that I've learned upon anyone. I would allow them to be themselves, because because I think we had talked about this once before, I still will go to church. I just look at it in a different way. I will take what the preacher is saying and apply it to my life as I can. Right. But as on that particular level, it is what it is. I'm going to listen to what the preacher has to say, whether it be a man or a woman. I'm going to listen to what they have to say and take what they say and apply it to my everyday life, point blank, period. And I would never stop anybody or, try to down anybody for the God that they believe in, because my own personal opinion is we all praise the same God. We just call him by different names.
True.
So,
and I agree with you on her, because like I said, I didn't really have too much experience, but that's how my friends said me. But now, Dad, you a Pentecostal? I mean, you are a Baptist, or you what religion you into?
I was born and raised a Baptist, Christian Baptist.
Now, I don't know, too many people don't know what a Pentecostal is. I was raised up in Pentecostal.
Oh, I've been to some Pentecostal churches, boy. Y'all know Pentecostal, boy. Y'all know how to party, boy. I tell you that much. Y'all know how to party.
They go long and strong.
What's that, Keisha? Long and strong.
I said they go long and strong. All the kids be sleeping on the pew.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, because Pentecostal churches, you don't know what time you're gonna get out. Church starts after Sunday school. Church starts at 11 o'clock. You might get out there around 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm just gonna be honest with that.
Oh yeah.
But
and see now, can I give you an example though, Mr. Dwight? Me and my brother, we performed poetry together, and we had been invited to a church to perform. And at the time I was married, and we were both married, so we bought our wives with us. And we're sitting there, me and my brother, we having our own private conversation, and our wives are having their own conversation. And we like, did they already cut the check? Because but the thing was, it was, you could tell that this was not a church that was there to help the people. This was more or less like one of those, I call them scam churches.
Yeah, that's what
that all about the donation. Make sure you tithe. We gonna pass around a plate for this offering. We gonna pass around a plate for this offering. It was one of them churches, and we knew something wasn't right, because one of the spiritual advisors and spiritual leaders of the church, when you walk in, he's standing there. He's just standing there, and he's just, oh Lord Jesus, oh hallelujah, oh, and we kind of looking at each other like, oh, something ain't right. And we knew something wasn't right with this church when we got up to perform our piece, and everything that we performed in our piece was going against everything that they were talking about in this church. And all we were doing was just speaking realistically. And it made a few of the church members kind of look at they quote unquote pastor a little differently. Needless to say, we never got invited back to that church, but we didn't really mind that, because, and so if I was with someone and they tried to make me come to a church like that and, take on that belief system, I would so seriously have an issue with that type of trying to get me to come to church. Because, you know, there's no way, you know, we're supposed to be reading out the Bible, but
Right.
we going off of the book that this person wrote. Huh?
Yeah.
That don't
Yeah.
sound right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and every other person that get up to speak is trying to sell you something.
See,
that's not a church to me.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Because when I was, you know, I was raised up in the church. I started, you know, call myself dating and everything. One girl, actually, she went to a Baptist church. She went to a Baptist church, and I brought her to my church. And she was trying to get me to come to her church because I guess she didn't really too much care for the religion ways of people in Pentecostal. Because she know at that time, you know, we dating, we doing, but you know, I'm keeping from trying to do things because she wanted to have a little fun. I said, no, I can't do that because, you know, I was raised in Pentecostal and like, you can't do certain things like that. You can't do this and this until you actually get, you know, married. So she was trying to bring me over to the Baptist church. She said, don't we both believe in God? I said, yes. Well, just because you're a Pentecostal and I'm Baptist, I mean, why you can't just come to a Baptist church? So she was trying to get me to leave the religion I was in to come join her church so we can, I guess, fool around because we going to a Pentecostal church, we didn't believe in doing that until we jumped the broom. So unfortunately, we ended up breaking up because she was trying to bring me over to that side, and I refused to go to that side. That's just one reason why I brought that up. Now, Keith, have you been in a certain situation when you was dating somebody on religion, or they was trying to get you to switch, or didn't want you to go to church after y'all started getting into a relationship and anything like that?
No, not really, because I really try to stick with like-minded people, because that's like, you know, trying to sell something. By now, you know, everybody know who their savior is and what God they worship. Now me, I'm supposed to be a disciple of him, so I will tell you. But one thing about, you know, God's word, you don't have to beat nobody over the head. You just say what you need to say, and then you leave it at that. Mm-hmm. So if I'm dating someone and we have two totally different outlooks on, you know, the Bible and what we should be doing and shouldn't be doing, and we probably don't need to be together anyway, because I'm not going to try to pull you over this way, and I don't want you to try to pull me over that way. So I try to stick with like-minded people. Yeah. People that are down to earth but like-minded, because I don't want to be battling with you every day about what God said.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I'm like a fish out of water when it comes to this, because I haven't really been in a certain relationship of somebody trying to change me, because most relationships I was seeing, you know, they liked me the way I was. I was just silly, goofy, just, you know, being a nice guy. So I never had a woman say, why you need to change this, or you need to change this about yourself. But like I said, I have been around a couple of people that was in certain relationships, and it just wasn't pretty. It just wasn't pretty at all. So I'm gonna say that I want the audience to give me a minute, because I have like a air conditioning unit problem. It's hot in here, so they here trying to fix it. I gotta sign something. So I'm gonna be back. Just give me a few minutes, y'all. I'm gonna be back. So Des, you don't mind just going on the show just a little bit? Give me about 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
So Des, you know, when you start dating,
I heard you say that people should stop trying to change people. Absolutely. Why would you? Accept the person as you find them, not how you wish them to be.
Yep. And sometimes you can't be looking for yourself and other people just because you're doing right. Don't mean everybody gonna act right.
Right.
So
right.
You just gotta know what you're dealing with. If you met that girl in the club and she was dancing, why would you tell her to stop? You can't change her. That's who she is. Right. You just need to accept what come with it.
Yeah.
If she gonna be on demon time, she gonna be on there anyway. Right. It ain't nothing you can do to stop that.
She gonna be who she be.
She gonna be who she is, man. And I tell people all the time, just be what you be. Just don't include me.
All right. I really hope you enjoy this show. They're doing such a great job. Very, very good topic. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow as we speak on submitting unto, meaning that when we speak of submitting unto your husband, what is the true definition and what is the fullness in the Bible that it states? Tune in tomorrow, but the phone lines will be up and you can also call in for your own comments and opinions. Also, make sure you tune in next Friday as Grown Men Talking Incorporated comes back to your screen, and Mr. Desmond Jones will be hosting the show. The topic on the emotional investment. Trust me, this is one y'all ain't gonna miss because I'm curious myself. Now, back over to Dwight.
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to be real with y'all. The air conditioning unit in my building went out. Shoot, I think maybe about an hour or two ago. It was just hot in this building. I mean, it was hot, and so everybody was knocking on the door saying, "Hey, did your air conditioning unit went out?" I said, "Yeah." So everybody was calling, and we thinking, okay, well, they probably not gonna do nothing till tomorrow. So I got a knock on the door. So they looking at it, they said, "We gotta bring you a unit in here." So I had to sign this and tell them where to put the temporary unit at, and everything, and point where they need to put it at. So now I'm back. Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I was starting sweating here like a runaway slave. I was like, it's getting kind of warm up in here. I was hoping they was gonna show up, because I'll tell you, this is the wrong time for the air conditioning unit to be going out. And matter of fact, I was gonna call Keisha. I was gonna call you and say, Keisha, did y'all unit go dead or something like that? Because like I said, this over here, it just went dead. So it's a little warm over here, a little too. So I'm glad they're in here. They're working on it. So if y'all hear a lot of noise and this and that, that's the people working on my unit and everything. So anyway, back to the show. Now, Keisha, I don't think you had any too much experience in that. Do you have any families or friends that might have been in a relationship that had somebody that was in there that's trying to change who they were?
I mean, just growing up, especially my teenage years, young boys trying to change the older girls. You know, I was a little younger than them, but I remember seeing this female be this way. She get with this guy, and she's a totally different person. The way she dressed, the way she walked, the way she talked. And mind you, these are teenagers. So some men start this stuff early, controlling women, wanting women to change to be what they like. Because some women will try to get men to change, like quit drinking so much, quit hanging out with your friends. You know, you can't take a man that date 2 and 3, 4 women at a time and make him be a solo mate, because that's not gonna happen. Again, you got to already know what you shopping for, or what's what you taking off the shelves. If that man a hoe, excuse me, he's gonna continue to do that. He is not going to stop seeing 2 and 3 women just because he got with you.
Well, let me ask you this. You said when you was younger, you talking about, I know certain men, okay, for instance, you dress a certain way, and then you get with a man, and he trying to maybe have you dress the opposite way. He wants you to dress more. Now, I guess it can go both ways. Maybe he trying to get you to dress more sexy. You're not dressing sexy enough. You need to wear tighter jeans. You need to kind of show more cleavage. So you talking about that type of change? Like you dress kind of like, you dress down, but they want you to be more sexy.
The dressing thing, I know someone that just happened to not too long ago. It was tough when he wants her to dress more sexy, tighter dresses, show more cleavage, wear your jeans real tight. When I come home, have on makeup and just, to me, unrealistic stuff. One, it is hot in Austin. I'm not going to be sitting up in the house trying to look like a beauty queen, sweating all my makeup off. I just think some men go beyond with what they want and they make life hard for women, because you got women that's going to go to the end trying to do that, thinking that she's going to keep that man. I'm thankful that I'm a little bit more established than to follow that, but some women are not. I mean, I could have my dream man, but if my dream man come with too many requirements that kind of go against my standards, then Unfortunately, I looked in the wrong section. Like, I think couples should agree. Like, it should be like a compromise or a common ground.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, I agree. Daz, I mean, Keith, I'm glad you made good point of this. Daz, have you been in a situation with a woman? I guess Keisha said something that kind of touched base. That, like, for instance, she didn't want you to drink or smoke a certain way, or she had a certain dislike.
That's always I get that from every relationship I've been in, because but it goes deeper than that. No, seriously, because, like, just to be honest, like, literally alcoholism runs in my family.
Okay.
So I can't be mad, and I wouldn't be mad at my mate if they was to tell me something to the point of, hey, you need to calm down on that. Just pay attention to your past. And because, I mean, and it's just a natural fact. My grandfather was a bootlegger, and alcoholism runs through my family. I have uncles and cousins in Mississippi that ran the after-hour spot, that ran the bootleg house. So, I mean, alcohol is a part of my blood. So I get that. And I have come to learn that over the years, sometimes when I partake in too much alcohol, I turn into a whole different person.
Right.
And that's not a person that people like. So, I have become more aware of that, to be more aware of, if I know or feel that I've been drinking too much, hey, let me step back. Let me step back away from everybody, because, I mean, yes, some of y'all may have seen it, while I was on my TikTok lives. There have been times where I've been on TikTok live, just plastered out of my mind and fell over and broke tables. So,
I missed that. No.
yeah, so I can understand that part of it, and then, when it comes to, the dressing aspect, changing how somebody dresses, or, I would never change the way a woman dresses. For one, I would never try to make a woman wear tight clothing, because, for one, I know that, excuse my my French on this, but sometimes them tight jeans cause yeast infections. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
That's just the truth.
Yeah, so, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be looking like no glazed donut when I get done. So I wouldn't, if a woman is comfortable in the way that she dresses,
right,
why would you even think to change that? Because she's comfortable in the skin that she's in. And I've even had, sometimes I get in trouble because sometimes I may quote unquote overdress.
Right.
Just like the outfit in the picture that Spicy shows for me hosting next week.
That was a good picture.
But that outfit wasn't supposed to be that sophisticated. It was just supposed to be shirt and pants.
Well,
but that's not the cloth that I'm cut from. When my people, I was taught, if you're gonna step out, step out.
Right.
And I can't be mad, but I have gotten in trouble because, you do too much. You just be doing too much. And it ain't that I'll be doing too much. It's just that what I got on, I may look better than you.
So what they're trying to say, you overkill. That's what they're trying to say.
Yeah. When they say overkill, I say, just right.
No, see, I have the opposite, because Keisha Keisha know me. I don't drink. I mean, I don't drink. I have nothing against anybody that drink or smoke, because if I did, I wouldn't have even dated women that drink or smoke. They drink and smoke, that's cool. But I was in a relationship with a woman who was trying to get me to drink. She said, I want to see you get drunk one time. One time, y'all said, look, you're not going to see. That's just something I don't do. And we used to get into arguments about this because she get mad because she want me to get drunk. I'm looking at her like she crazy.
It sounds like she was trying to break you. I'm gonna get this man to do something that he wouldn't do. I'm gonna have that power over him.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. She almost got me. Oh yeah, she almost got me. What you call these things? Jello shots. This how wet behind the ears I was, because I didn't know what a Jello shot. Look, I didn't even know what it was. I mean, her friend had a party, and they had a little square Jellos in different colors. Okay, people drinking. It's around New Year, so she kept pointing to me, hey, the white, see, because she knew I like the Jello. There's some Jello over there. I said, oh, I'm gonna get me some Jello. So I run up there to get some Jello. My cousin, Jello, said, hey man, hey, what you doing? I said, well, I'm about to get some Jello. Don't do that. I said, why? He said, those were Jello shots. I said, what the hell is a Jello shot? He said they have alcohol in it. I said, what? Yeah. I said, well, my girl from that time said, well, she told me to come on here. He said, no, man, she trying to get you messed up. So I didn't know what it was, but she was trying her best to get me drunk, because she said, I want to see you drunk and act a fool. I said, I'm already sitting goofy. So why? It might be the opposite. See, some people understand, like you said, some people understand alcohol can change your personality. That might have made me into a beast or something. So I could understand why she was just trying to get me drunk, stone cold drunk. And fortunately, that broke up our relationship. I got tired of her trying to push me to drink. When she met me, she knew I was, I wasn't that type of person that drank. I didn't drink or anything like that. Even though she did, she smoked. We just liked each other. But she was potentially trying to push me to drink. So
she was trying to get you to step over to the dark side, Luke.
But I understand that, man. She was really trying to get me. She said she just wanted to see me get drunk one time. She said, I just, because I seen her drunk, I seen her friends, I seen other people drunk, and they said, well, Dwight don't drink. And she said, yeah, I would like to see him get drunk one time. So she was literally pushing me to try to drink alcohol and try to get drunk. And she almost came close with those Jello shots, because, like I said, the Jello was so real. It looked like regular Jello to my cousin told me those are Jello shot. They have alcohol in them. So she almost got me. She almost got me.
See, now that's what I would consider one of those negative changes. Somebody trying to change something about you. Yeah. Because especially if you're not a drinker, it really ain't gonna take much for you to get there. And like you said, that could go one or two ways. You could become the real quiet, silent, extra goofy, or you could turn into Bruce Lee.
No, she just wanted to bring out that extra freak in him. That's what that was.
She was trying to get him white boy wasted.
Yeah, get him white wasted and white boy raped.
Look, she might have. Now, like I said at the beginning of the show, because when we was coming to the beginning of the show, when I started dating, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I like sex and everything. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, when I got with the girl, she was actually, I think she was really trying to turn me into a porno star. That's all she wanted to do.
Hey, them Jello shots might have took you there.
Yeah, but all night long.
All night.
Oh my God. Hey, look, you gotta accept me for who I am, man. Now, that's what you want. You need to go find that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't get that. Just like I was saying about my friend when she's 130 pounds, and he was trying to get her to a 200-pound mark just because, like I said, his excuse was that she reminded him of an ex. And their energy was great, but he, wanted her to be more, I don't know, plump or whatever. He wanted to push her to gaining more weight. And I'm like you, most guys, I ain't never heard of that, because it just tripped me. I never heard a guy, yeah, girl, that's it. Yeah, take one more bite. I want you to gain another 5 or 10 pounds. You don't hear too many guys, but I came from, you didn't hear too many guys doing that, but this is something that he wanted her to do.
Well, I'm sorry, like Miss Keisha say, I always shopped in the proper aisle. Because I don't want to have to put no weight on no one, because I'm sorry, that song, you gotta be 2 something if you won't do something.
Yeah.
I like literally, you can ask anybody in my family, from my brothers, my uncles, cousins, they'll tell you I have never dated a woman my size or smaller.
True, but see, I don't have no limits. I mean, I don't care if you're small, big. I basically go for personality. I'm not. If I was gonna look for a certain type of woman, then that's the type of body size I would go for. I'm not gonna get with a woman that's, I have dated women that was over the 200 mark. I'm not gonna get with her and just say yeah. And now all of a sudden I'm trying to shrink her down to 140 or 30 pounds. I mean, that was the case. I'll go look for a woman that's 130 pounds or 40 pounds. I'm gonna go find one, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna try to say, okay, you need to drop that weight. You need to do this, you need to do that. But that's just crazy to me. But that's what he was doing with her. He was doing the opposite.
I mean, because like I said, ironically, most women who have that weight and have been struggling with that weight for a long time, they're trying to lose it. They're trying to get down to a size to where they feel that is healthy for them, and I totally agree with that. I honestly understand, do believe 100% you should never try to lose weight because your man or your woman wants you to be a certain size. No, that's something that you need to do for yourself so that you can keep yourself healthy. That's all about you and your health. And if you got somebody trying to plump you up, now I can see if maybe you may have had a eating disorder and you were looking kind of anorexic and needed to put some weight on you for your own health. Now that's different. But if you already a nice size, you're 5'2", 130 pounds, and you look nice and you working with what God gave you. No, don't try to give me no extra weight. Don't try to put no extra weight on that person, because that's not who they're meant to be. Because like I said, they're going to end up having all these health problems that they would not have had if they hadn't put on that weight.
I agree. And like I said, I'm glad her mom and they probably convinced her to leave this man. And he wasn't a bad man. He was actually a good man, but he was just pushing her to eat and gain more weight. I hear some music playing, and we about to go commercial. They give me a chance to go back up in here and see what's going on with the air conditioner. So y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Be right back.
Hello, beautiful souls. Signs your partner is trying to change you. Number 1, constant criticism. They frequently point out your flaws and point out things they think you should improve. Number 2, conditional love. You only receive affection or approval when you act in ways they prefer. Number 3, ignoring your boundaries. They disregard limits you set or push you to do things that you're uncomfortable with. Number 4, subtle manipulation. They use tactics like arguing you out of what you want. They use nonstop talking, disrespectful jokes, or reframing your reality. Number 5, dismissal of your needs. They constantly ignore or downplay your requests or desires. Number 6, rationalizing requests. They justify their attempts to change you by saying it's for your own good. Number 7, trying to change fundamental aspects of you. They attempt to alter core parts of your reality, your appearance, or lifestyle. Number 8, comparison. They frequently compare you unfavorably to others or to an ideal version of you. Number 9, pressuring you to change your appearance, your friends, or hobbies. They push you to alter aspects of your life to fit their preferences. Number 10, not accepting you for who you are. So instead of them embracing your authentic self, they choose to mold you into someone they prefer. So these are signs that your partner is trying to change you. And in the beginning, it seemed like something sweet, loving, and caring, but it's not. It's all a facade,
And you need to look out for these signs. When you see them right away, step out of that relationship. Take care, beautiful souls.
Oh, right. I guess we back. Hey. Oh, I just want to thank the makers guys. They got my air back on. Oh God, I can feel that all on my ball here. I can feel that air. Woo! Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah, it was about almost like 87 degrees up in this mud. God dang. Shoot. But they got air back on. I'm starting to feel good. Keisha, that video we just saw, what you take on that video that the young lady was just speaking of that we just looked at?
Mine was going in and out, so I didn't really get the whole gist of what she was saying. So I'm gonna listen to you and Des, because I couldn't pick up the whole entire video, so I don't want to make an assumption on just the little summit that I heard.
Well, I'm gonna say something that she said something that, hairstyle. Now, back then, back in the day, when I was young, I had like cornrows in my head. I used to like to wear my hair braided. I was dating this girl, and she liked everything about me. She didn't too much care for my hair. She wanted me to cut my hair to get a look I got now. So if you watching, look, I got the look now. I ain't had it back then. I got it now. But she was trying to get me to wear my hair to a certain, because she was in a certain profession, and she was, I guess, in that world that she was working at, or that company she worked at, I guess it was too hip hop. They want you to be clean cut. I walked in, I had the braid, and my hair was braided up. They looked at me like, ooh, I mean, I was dressed up nice, but they was too focused on the way my hair looked. And she used to tell me all the time that, you ever decided to wear a different hairstyle, maybe you should change your hairstyle. And I said, okay, I can wear afro. Well, and then she kind of choked a little bit. Well, I'm not really talking about an afro. And I'm looking at her like, okay, what are you talking about? Because usually back then I wear my hair like an afro, or I had it braided up. So to make a long story short, she wanted me to cut my hair low like it is now, that type, because it was more acceptable, I guess, with the crowd of people, the people that she worked with, and then it was like a law firm, a bit, they used to have these parties, and I guess I was the outlet, because I guess my hair drew too much attention. So I told her I wasn't cutting my hair. I said, look, hey, I'm not cutting my hair just because you have me going on these things with you, and you don't like my hair, or the people you work with don't like my hair. And that was the case, you should have got a guy with that type of hairstyle. So unfortunately, I wasn't going to do that, and we end up the relationship. So I wasn't going to change my hair or this and that just because the people at her job didn't like the way my hair looked. But anyway, Des, what you got to say about that video that the young lady said? That's part of the video she was saying about your parents and everything. And yeah, I left her because I wasn't cutting my hair just to make somebody else happy. So what you got to say about that video we just saw?
She did have some very relevant points. Those are very good signs that someone is trying to change you.
Yeah.
And it just may not be for the better. And some of those things that she stated on, I've been asked to do some of those things, change some of the people I hang around with. Sometimes it was for the better, and sometimes it was just out of, I don't want you to be around them. And and then sometimes, the way that you act, I'm not acting no different than I was when you attracted me.
Mm-hmm.
Or shall I say, I attracted you. Either way it want to be. It's like, it just, I can sum up her whole video in that one Ruben Studdard song. Why you want to change me? Flip all the things that made me, that made you fall, make you want me to change all the things about me that made you fall in love with me or want to be in love with me. So,
Right.
Everybody has their opinions, and a lot of the signs that you can see, like some of the ones that she was saying with, the subtle insults,
Right.
things of that nature. Yeah, sometimes like when y'all first start off, y'all may be going back and forth at it, but then sometimes it can just turn into every time you talk to me, you got something negative to say.
No,
I'm
that's
doing,
true.
why you doing this? Why you doing that? You should be doing it like this. Why ain't you doing it like that? Hold on,
But
excuse me. I thought I thought I had my own mind and I could think for
yeah.
myself.
But see, that's what gets me because if they meet you, and if you've seen each other, would you kind of see how that person is? They just like with my hair. You met me with those damn, my hair being braided up. Now all of a sudden that you had me going to these company meetings, that's a problem. But if you knew these people weren't going, I guess, like the hairstyle I had, then why you bother inviting me to the company function? If your bosses and them had an issue, it wasn't the way I dressed. I dressed fly. Woo, I dressed nice. But they had an issue with my hairstyle.
But that's just like some people want to change you. That's one of those things that she felt that she may be able to change about you. Because for one, it seems like in that particular situation, she was more worried about her appearance when it came to her coworkers. She wasn't thinking about you. She was just thinking, oh, how does this look to my boss? How does this look to the people that, I work with? Are they going to look at me any differently because you look this way? Which to me, that's not fair to you as a human being, because what she's trying to do is like she's basically giving them power over you through her.
That part. Because personality wise, they liked me.
We have a caller coming in. Let's see what they have to say.
Oh, okay. Caller, welcome to Grown Man Talking. Are they still there, Spicy?
Are you there, caller? Hold on a minute. Probably had to do like we did before.
Uh-oh.
Caller,
I know that voice. That sounds like my brother Mac. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard.
Go ahead.
This is the weirdest thing ever. I'm sitting back listening to it. What's up, brother? What's happening with it, first of all?
What's up, Matt?
Back listening to this, and it sounds like the person that whoever dates who is looking for a project rather than a mate. They're looking for somebody that they can mold and mesh into what they want, instead of just saying, well, I met somebody and I know that in time changes are going to come about anyway. So why can't I just accept the person for who they are, what they stand for, what they're about, and whatever I don't like, we'll deal with it, when the time comes. But I'm not in this to build a bear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in this to build a person. I'm rather in this to find a mate, to find somebody suitable with that I can call my companion, that I can call someone that I'm in a relationship with, someone that I can say, hey, I can lay down next to, I can trust, that I can love. No, this is somebody that I got to worry about trying to dictate my pace. Nah, I'm good on that. That's why I said in the chat, somebody dating that, like this is really what's going on. I digress.
There are people out there who are actually that type of individual, the one in that video, that are doing exactly what she was saying. And like you said, somebody is dating that. They just don't want to face that they dating that. And when they do face that they dating that, that's when the problems start coming in.
Yep.
You heard that, DJ Matt?
You still there?
would like to say though, right? Yeah, I get that, but do you understand that I'm trying to put forth is like, let's say in the first of the conversation that you're getting to know this person, and the more that you get to understand this person, the more you see that this person don't care about you. They care about what they want you to be or what they want you to do for them or what you're going to provide for them or things of that nature. That's your exit out the business.
The room is quiet.
No, I thought I was waiting. I thought it was coming in because I know Brother Mac, when he get into his thought process, they coming.
Man.
The black EF Hutton over here.
Yeah. Dude. But you know, I agree with Mac on certain issues. I mean,
hey, listen though, man. All I'm saying, man, like for real, like I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do you get past goal on that?
Yeah.
But don't let me hold up the show, y'all.
Thank you for calling in, Mr. Mac.
Man, we appreciate you.
Thank you for putting that thought on it.
Yeah. Hey. Some serious stuff out here, goddamn it. So, Keith, what you got to say about that?
Well, I just think that we can get so caught up, women especially, because we get with a man and we want to stay with that man. And unfortunately, I'm not speaking for all women, but I'm speaking for a lot. We'll change. We will change, because I've seen it in too many instances with too many women where you will lose your family, you will get your own children, because that man may not want your children around, or that man may not want you to be around your family as much, and everything starts subtle. It's not a big change at first, but if you back in your mind and look, this man was setting you up the whole time to start doing these little things, and once he can isolate you by yourself, then you at his mercy, because he gonna be doing whatever with no brothers, no family around. He gonna mess with your mind and do whatever he wants. And some women, again, not speaking for all, the mind is not very strong.
Yeah,
we get so afraid of being by ourselves that we just take what comes down the pipe.
Yeah,
and we end up losing.
And sometimes I think that, you know, sometimes like men and women, we have this thing to where we try to change somebody into where we want them, try to change them into the person that we want them to be or we think they should be, and we tend to forget that this person is their own person.
Yep.
Their individuality is what attracted them, you know, is what made us made them attractive to us. But when we get with that person and then we try to quote unquote mold or shape them into what we think or what we want them to be, we start to take away from who they truly are. Right. Because all that person is going to do, even if, like Miss Keisha said, if like when she did all the things that, you know, that she claimed that her, you know, she thought she was supposed to do because her man did them, in the end, she still was alone because she was not being herself.
Yeah.
And if we don't get the opportunity to be ourselves in a relationship, I think that a lot of time leads to failed relationships, because if I'm constantly putting on this act or being who you want me to be or doing what you want me to do and not allowing myself to have my own type of freedom, I'm basically losing touch with myself. Yeah. And at some point, I'm going to run back into myself, and we're going to have a wake up conversation with ourselves and be like, hey, hold on. Something ain't right with this. Yeah. And then we're going to start bumping heads with the person that we're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
And that's usually when it ends.
And see, and yeah, and I agree with Keisha and what y'all saying, because I just couldn't be. For one thing, is I would never try to. One thing is change somebody, because you want that person to be. You met that person that way, and you should let them be who they are. I would tell anybody. I would, and I have left a little relationship that I did get into that was trying to do that. I left that relationship because you're not going to change who I am. If I can accept you for who you are, you should be able to accept me for who I am. I'm not here to try to change you, flip flop, or change you to what I'm trying to change you to for friends, family, or whatever. But Keisha, you made a good point, because you do have a lot of women that doing that. The man, and it starts out slowly. Don't like your child or don't like certain things, and they get a chance to pull you away, and you just change for this person. And that's the thing about it. You change for this person, and you lose everything. You lose everything because this person changed you and got everybody away from you, and now you just there. Now, I thought that when I asked that Keisha, that thing that happened when you lost your, were you able to even come back and be friends with people, or did they open that door for y'all to be friends again after that had happened?
Yeah, but it wasn't in the beginning, because they don't know you're gonna get with the next dude and then he gonna do the same thing. No, I lost some friends that I never actually got back. And like you, I have more male friends than I do female friends, because I don't really do females like that. But I have way more male friends and associates than I do female. So a lot of the friends that I lost were males. And I think that was his whole agenda. I don't think he cared too much about the females. I think it was more the men.
Right.
So my thing is, if I was single when I got with you and I still had the same friends, if something was going on, it would have been going on before I met you. So and I would have been single because I would have been with them. I don't think people take all that into consideration.
But you know what? I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question, because some men, now hear me on this. Like what Keisha just said, she has male friends, and they were just friends. And then when she met this dude, when he had an issue, and Keisha, the one thing I'm gonna say, now all men think like this, but some men would think, okay, you have a male friend, but one of those male friends, you probably mess with one of them. Now, me personally, I'm not gonna think like that, but you do have some dudes that think like that. They feel like, in other words, they feel like a man and woman can't be friends unless they doing the do. Am I right, Daz? Do most men feel that way? Mike.
I had seen this video the other day, and I was watching this video, and it was a comedian, but he was talking about the male best friend, and a lot of times, I'm not saying this was the deal in your case, Miss Keisha. I'm just saying, but a lot of times, the way most men look at it is, oh, that's your male best friend. So basically, every time we get into it, everything that I do wrong, you're telling him. You are giving him all the ammunition that he needs, so that one of these days you're gonna come over there. Oh my God. And he's gonna be like, oh yeah, for real, girl. Are you serious? Here, let me give you a hug. Oh, and he's just gonna he's gonna be everything that I'm not.
See,
just to gain your trust.
That's the part I want. Now, see, Keisha. Now, I'm not saying now, Keisha. I know Keisha wouldn't do it, but see, Keisha. That's probably what this guy probably thought. He probably thinking, oh yeah. Your man, your friend, your male best friends and stuff. And most men, they, Now I don't think like that. And I'm not gonna say anything about any other man that might feel that way. But me personally, I don't feel. But that's probably why he wanted you to cut off your male friends, probably because of that.
But the thing is, if something was gonna happen, it would have already have happened. If I've had these male friends for 10, 12 years,
and
I have not been engaged in any type of wrongful activity with them because we just cool like that.
Yeah.
What makes you don't think you think you're the first man that I done been with and not had them?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Some men would think, yeah, okay, y'all cool, But in the back of his mind, I know she slept with one of these Negroes. I know she had. They what do they call them? Homie lover friends. You know, it's kind of late. I'm a little lonely. Come and snack me up a little snack. No, we ain't gonna get no relationship. It's just to have a little, snack. So now when this guy come around and he meets you and you guys, especially a lot of male friends, that's what most of them in their head thinking about. They think about, I know one of those dudes, Keisha ain't gonna tell me, he ain't gonna tell me, but I know. But that's how some guys think. I mean, that's probably why he wanted you to he was wrong for that, but that's probably why he, told you to get rid of both of your male friends, even though you and your male friends,
I'm not gonna get rid of any of my male friends. I've gained a few back, not many, but whoever I'm with, they just gonna have to understand. One, you gotta trust the person you with. I know all things can happen on both sides, but you just have to trust the person you with, because 9 times out of 10, he got a lot of female friends.
True,
I mean, that's what the dynamics of everything work. He has female friends. I'm not gonna trip over every female friend he has or some female calling him, because at the end of the day, as long as he's being faithful to me, I don't care who he's talking to. I just don't have that energy like that, because in time it's gonna show if he's doing anything inappropriate, because females, we real jealous. So if he is messing with somebody, they gonna blow their own cover. So if you female just a little bit of time, she gonna blow her cover. So you ain't never gotta worry about find out if your man messing with one of his female friends, because they gonna tell on themselves anyway.
Well, yeah. Cause see, I'm like this, and you're like this. I had a lot of female friends, and I think one lady I was dating, she wanted me to get rid of my female friends, and I told her no. I mean, I've been knowing a lot of these female friends of mine ever since we was elementary. And just like you said, Keisha, if I was gonna be with one of these women, it would have already happened. And I was straight up with her. Then she asked me, "Did you sleep with them?" I said, "No, I ain't sleep." I said, "You can bring them in and ass over. I ain't sleeping with these female friends of mine. I ain't got nothing to hide." But some people, when you get in a relationship, they will try to change and get rid of your friends. Now, Dez, I know, since you said you got a lot of female friends, I'm pretty sure a woman too wants you to get rid of your female friends.
I mean, and that's understandable. I mean, because like Miss Keith said, if I've done something with them, they gonna tell on themselves. They gonna tell on themselves, and it's nothing I can do about that. So, and but from just to play devil's advocate, when the man thinks you just those friends that you ain't done nothing with, you just might ain't done nothing with them, because that's your ice. That's your ice bucket over there, and your in case of emergency bucket. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's your ice bucket over there.
As emergency, you hit that glass when it says emergency, you hit it just in case of emergency. Click. Hey,
that's all. Just to play devil's advocate. Not saying that's what it was, because just the little time I've known you, that's not what it was. Because like you said, if you wanted to do something, you'd have done something. But that's the logic thinking of most men. She got all these men friends. Okay, she's the one of them just waiting on me to slip up so they can slide on in.
That's what I'm talking about. But like I said, most men, and it's not wrong, but most men they do think like that. I mean, ladies, I'm just being real, but that's why they say what they say and do what they do. Especially you have a lot of male friends, and everything. When you got too many male friends, I'm like, girl, you ain't got no female friends you can hang out with. In the back of your mind, you got those thoughts going on.
Yeah, I mean, but like in my case, just me personally, I can understand why a woman I was in a relationship would say that, because let's be honest, I got a history. I am a very flirtatious person. I do it, and I don't even know I'm doing it. So I could understand why a woman I was in a relationship with, have these types of thoughts. I get it. But at some point, the trust has to come in, and I know it's nobody's fault but mine, because of the simple fact of who I am and one of my personality traits.
I'm not going to say it's your fault, because if she talking to you, she know you're a kind of person that like to, and sometimes, like you said, you don't even know you're flirting. It's just part of your personality, and she should know this. and then try to get you to change a certain way. So that's why I hate when you meet a person, you know this is how they are. If you don't like what they certain little things about them, then you can either accept it or shoot, go find the person that fits you more and just go on with that instead of trying to change that person down the line. Because I can't stand that. Take me where I am. Don't try to change me. If you don't like the way I am, then move around. Because I ain't gonna try to do the same. Look, I did it with women. I didn't say, okay, you with me now, you gotta stop smoking, you gotta stop drinking, you gotta put that chicken down. Look, if that was the case, why I'm gonna get with you in the first place? I'm just saying, I'm not out here to change nothing, but you do have those people, they get with you and all of a sudden they flip-flop, they trying to change you. They like the way you dress, the way you look, the way you act, the way you move, and it can, and sometimes some of us give in to what these other people want to, where it kind of just mess up your life. So that's that crap. I'd rather be by myself. I got to be going through all these damn changes for somebody. So I'm not going. But you know what? This show has been a very interesting. Before we even cash out, Spicy, say something. I want to see if you clear. Are you clear? Can you hear me, Spicy?
I'm here.
Now, I want to ask you the question. Have you been in a situation where somebody trying to get you to change a little bit, the way you dress or the way you walk or whatever?
Well, being that I've been in domestic relationship, that there was a lot of controlling.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had one, it's like he didn't want to see me with makeup because he didn't want nobody else looking at me. So he'll take my makeup and smear it all across my face. He didn't want me to wear certain clothing. So he wanted me to wear clothing that button up to the neck. So, I've been in that situation, but I thank God I'm out of it now. So I have my own mind, my own stand, and I'm my own woman.
Now, Spicy, did he meet you with makeup on?
Yes.
Okay, so that's my whole point. You meet a person with makeup, you see they dress, and all of a sudden you together now you can't wear no more makeup. You can't have your cleavage shown.
Yeah.
You can't do this. I mean, if you're looking for that type of woman, why don't you go find a woman that didn't wear no makeup or have whatever the case is?
Exactly. And then, the other aspect was, even if I got pregnant, I better lose the weight. He didn't like big women. I got to be a certain size. If you cut your hair, then he's going to cut you loose. I tried it. I cut my hair. I had to divorce him, but it is what it is.
Ooh, shoot. See, you should have. I wish I would have. You should have. Me and Spicy go back. See, Spicy, that man that wanted the woman to gain some weight. So maybe work something out.
Well, back in the day, I wasn't but $105 until I had.
Oh yeah, Spicy was a buck of wind come by and she'll blow away. Spicy was small as God dang.
I've seen the seen the photos.
Yeah,
I went from a toothpick lost to Wonder Bread to somebody that had a model shape to now it's like, okay, I said,
yeah. But shoot, because that's the thing, people. Like I said, people try to make it do those changes, and like I say, I'll walk out. You can't just and I have walked out. You can't take me to where I am, but I gotta walk regardless. But I want to thank Brother Mac for calling the show. He said being a very great show. Like besides the interruption, my air. Like I told y'all, the air before the time the show even came back, because the air. I said, dang, it feel a little warm in here. And Keisha will tell you, I don't care about a lot of cold air. I like it just like a fall kind of feel. And I'm like, it kind of feel a little warm. And so my daughter like, hey, Dad, it's a little. I said, yeah, it feel kind of warm. And the like I said, the unit wasn't working. And I was tripping. I said, but damn, this is a brand new building. They shouldn't be having no, So I called the maintenance people. Hey, man, my unit's down and da-da-da-da-da, and so that was like maybe an hour before the show. So in the middle of the show, guess what happened? Knock. Hey, I said, oh, God, I got to go in here. And they in there asking me how to get up and talk to the people and to get them going and everything. And he said, you doing the show? Yeah. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I said, man, you didn't know. And I didn't know y'all was going to roll up on me like that. But once again, I'm glad they came by. They fixed it. Now I'm going to have to turn the thing down because it's getting too cold in here. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the show. It was a great show. I loved it. And be sure y'all join us tomorrow, because tomorrow, now, I guess it's Submit, right, Spicy? About women submitting to men. Now, this is going to be a great show. Yeah, Submit, yeah. I can't wait for this, because I got a lot to say about that when it comes to men wanting women to submit. And I'm not going to say too much about it, because I'm going to wait until tomorrow to say what I have to say. But I want to thank Keisha for joining the men's show. I really appreciate her for showing up. Keisha, you have anything you want to say before we check out?
Yeah, women, men, be who you are. Don't allow nobody. Be strong in your own self, to love yourself, to take pride in who you are, and don't let nobody change that for nothing. Love yourself.
I know that's right. Brother Dez, what you got to say, brother? I know you got something to say.
I'd say, I do believe sometimes that a lot of times that we have a problem that when a woman is trying to change a man, it's because she's been so used to being the man and doing it on her own that she has pretty much become the man. And she wants her man to be who she is. And she tries to change him into what she has become sometimes, but not all the times. But I would also say, if you're going to get with a person like we've been saying, if know what you're going to put up with in the beginning and what you're not going to put up with. Don't try to change somebody into being what you think they should be. Allow them to be who they are, as long as it doesn't affect who you are.
Right.
But don't try to change somebody into what you want them to be or what you think they should be, if it's done out of in a negative content. Just allow people to be who they are, because our individuality is what makes us unique and what makes us come together even stronger.
Amen, my brother. I love the way you put that. That was great, Dez. Keisha, your advice was great. So, like I said, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all for watching the show. And like I said, please tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow you don't want to miss this, because we get a lot about a man telling a woman to submit this and this and this. And so please watch the show, because this is a lot of people gonna have a lot to say. Until then, much love, peace out, and we'll see you soon.
Open that door. Nehemiah, what are you doing?
Uh-oh, Keisha's coming out here.
Still there?